A mid-flight emergency. A passenger's life on the line. A black doctor rises to help, but a flight attendant blocks him, questioning his credentials. As seconds tick away, the cabin erupts in chaos. What happens next changes everything, leaving the crew and passengers stunned. The hum of the jet engines filled the cabin as passengers settled into the soft rhythm of a long-haul flight. Families whispered, couples shared drinks, and a few already drifted into sleep. But then, like a crack in calm waters, panic broke. A woman in her late 60s, seated near the middle rows, suddenly clutched her chest. Her face turned pale, and her breathing grew ragged. A shrill cry erupted from her daughter sitting beside her. "Help! Please, someone help!" she shouted, her voice trembling with fear. The cabin, once relaxed, was thrown into chaos. People twisted in their seats, heads snapping toward the desperate cry. Some froze in fear. Others whispered anxiously. A man, tall, calm, and composed, unbuckled his seatbelt and moved swiftly toward the aisle. His presence commanded attention, measured steps, firm but not frantic. His name was Dr. Marcus Williams, a renowned cardiologist, and the only thought in his mind was saving the woman's life. "I'm a doctor," he said firmly, kneeling beside her, scanning her face, checking her pulse with practiced precision. "She's going into cardiac distress. I need space and access now." But before he could even begin his work, a uniformed shadow descended. A flight attendant, her face tight with suspicion, blocked his path. She crossed her arms and spoke in a sharp, clipped tone. "Sir, please step back. We'll handle this." Dr. Williams looked up, incredulous. "You don't understand. I'm a cardiologist. She doesn't have time. If I don't intervene now..." But the attendant cut him off. "Sir, we need to verify your credentials. Anyone can claim to be a doctor. Please return to your seat until we say otherwise." Gasps spread across the cabin. Passengers exchanged glances, disbelief etched on their faces. The daughter of the woman in distress shouted, "He just said he's a doctor! Let him help my mother!" Tears streamed down her face as she clung to her mother's arm. But the attendant held her ground. "Ma'am, we have protocols. We can't just let anyone touch a passenger. We'll call for another volunteer." Another volunteer? The words hung in the air like poison. A man was dying, and the only qualified person willing to save her was being dismissed. Because of what? The color of his skin? The assumption that his word wasn't good enough? Dr. Williams' voice sharpened, still calm but carrying the weight of restrained outrage. "I don't have time for this. She's in ventricular fibrillation. If we wait, she will die." But the attendant raised her hand again. "Back away. Now." The cabin turned tense. A murmur rippled across the rows. Some passengers began to shout. "Let him help her," one man barked. "This isn't the time for red tape," another cried. The daughter screamed, "You're killing her. Please let him help." Yet the attendant dug in, her voice trembling now but stubborn. "I said he needs to sit down. We'll wait for someone else." Seconds stretched into eternity. The elderly woman's lips turned blue, her breathing shallow and sporadic. Desperation flooded the cabin. Finally, another passenger rose, a man in his 20s. I did a CPR course once," he stammered. "I can try?" The room erupted. "No!" several shouted at once. Dr. Williams stood, his voice commanding now. "Move aside." His eyes locked on the attendant, unyielding. "If she dies because you stopped me, that's on you." At that moment, the captain's voice boomed over the intercom. "What's happening back there?" The daughter, sobbing, shouted toward the cockpit. "My mother's dying and they won't let the doctor help." The captain emerged seconds later, his face drawn tight, surveying the chaos. He looked at Dr. Williams, who stood tall, calm despite the fire in his eyes. "You're a doctor?" "Yes," Marcus replied, pulling his wallet and flipping it open with swift precision. Inside, his hospital ID, his medical license card. "Board-certified cardiologist. Cleveland Clinic. Let me save her. The captain barely glanced before nodding sharply. Do it. Now. The attendant's face strained of color. Her lips parted in protest, but the captain's glare cut her down instantly. Passengers jeered, some muttering angrily, others openly shouting, "Shame on you!" Dr. Williams wasted no more time. He knelt beside the woman, checked her vitals again, and called out commands like a general in the heat of battle. "I need the AED, now. Get me oxygen. Ma'am, lift her chin." Passengers scrambled to help. Within seconds, the AED was in his hands. He worked quickly, attaching the pads, directing the charge. The machine's robotic voice filled the silence. Shock advised. Stand clear. The cabin collectively held its breath. The shock was delivered. The woman's body jolted, then stilled. "Come on," Dr. Williams whispered, beginning chest compressions. Sweat beaded on his forehead, but his rhythm was steady, controlled, unwavering. "Stay with me." Minutes felt like hours. The daughter clung to her mother's hand, tears streaming, whispering prayers under her breath. Then, with one final compression, the woman gasped. A deep, rattling, glorious gasp of air. Her chest rose. Her eyes fluttered open. The cabin erupted in cheers. Applause thundered. Some passengers wept openly, hugging each other. The daughter collapsed onto her mother's chest, sobbing with relief. "Thank you, thank you." Dr. Williams leaned back, exhausted but composed, his expression calm as though he had known all along this moment would come. "She'll need immediate care once we land," he told the captain. "But she's stable for now." The captain nodded, awe in his eyes. "You just saved her life, doctor." "Thank you." But all eyes turned then to the attendant. Her face was crimson, her posture crumbling under the weight of 100 accusing stares. She stammered, I didn't know." The captain's voice was steel. "You questioned a doctor during an emergency. You risked a life because of your prejudice. You're done." He signaled to security staff on board. "Escort her to the back. She won't be finishing this flight as a crew member." Gasps filled the cabin again, but this time, they were satisfied gasps. The balance of justice had shifted. Passengers clapped once more, some shouting, "Good riddance!" The attendant, trembling, was led away, her eyes darting wildly, but no sympathy came. Only cold, hard judgment from every direction. Dr. Williams returned to his seat quietly, the daughter clasping his hands, crying into them. "You're an angel. I'll never forget this." But Marcus only smiled softly, humbly. "I did what I was trained to do. Nothing more." And as the plane continued its course, the passengers around him whispered, their words carrying through the cabin like gospel. "That man saved a life. That's what a real hero looks like. Never judged by appearances." It was a flight none of them would ever forget, not because of fear, but because one man's calm defiance and unshakable skill overcame ignorance, prejudice, and bureaucracy. Stories like this remind us how dangerous bias can be, and how powerful truth and courage are in exposing it. What would you have done if you were on that flight? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that reveal the truth behind injustice.